Yeah.
Well, the first thing that I'm going to do, my friend, is just to say a big, big thank you for joining us today. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Really appreciate you
Mhm.
taking time for this. And I speak to people all over the world, but we're both in Cyprus, so it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. And I was on a call actually with somebody in Zambia before you. So
Wow.
we've definitely got African Brotherhood today, which is really cool. But
Hmm.
anyway, I'm going to do a quick introduction just for everyone listening to this, okay? Just so they know what's going on. And I'm just going to say today that this is episode 490 of the Simply Inspired podcast, specifically today, the presenting champions aspect of that podcast. And today I'm joined by a very inspiring guest. Now, I'm joined by Dingane Jamela. Now, am I saying that the right way or am I totally messing up your name there, my friend?
Yes, that's correct. It's
Oh,
correct.
that's correct. I said it the right way. There we go.
Mhm.
I've been
Yes.
practicing that. And this guest today has a very, very inspiring story in his journey as a basketball player, his transition from his home country to Cyprus, where we are speaking from today, the mindset that it takes to reach a high level in his chosen sport, and to leave everything he knows behind to chase a dream. And today, as always in my podcast, there's going to be life lessons, inspiration, motivation, all of that kind of thing for you, the audience. As many of you know, I teach and coach full time, and that's what I do, helping people to be better versions of themselves. And so today really fits in with that ethos, that meaning behind what I do, because this man is a very, very inspirational person. Now, he's quite early on in the journey, actually. The best is yet to come with today's guest. So he's definitely somebody that you want to keep an eye on, and we'll find out later on about how you can follow him and get involved more in the journey. We'll find out more about that soon. But for now, stay tuned for another great episode, guys. Like I say, it's going to be all about Dingane's life and his journey to this point, as well as his future plans. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired channel as well for more great content like this. I'm releasing inspirational content every week, trying to help you guys become better versions of yourselves, sharing lessons from great men like Dingane who are taking the big risks in life to be the best version of themselves, you know? So, like I said, my friend, big thank you for coming on the show. And it's great to have you here. It's great to be talking with you. And it's great to catch you at this point in your journey when you're like on the way up. But the best is yet to come, I think, for you.
Exactly. Hey, Leon. Thank you for inviting me first on your podcast. And yes, the best is yet to come. I believe I'm quite early in my journey, and yeah, let's see how things go. I believe I'm going really far, and I'm gonna be great one day.
Absolutely. I believe that as well. And that's something that we will talk about today. The only other thing I just want to mention real quick, hopefully my sound is okay. Obviously there is a little bit of wind here, there is a little bit of music, but it should be pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
If you have
Yeah.
any trouble hearing me, that's just let me know. But yes, I mean, starting at the beginning, I mean, starting with where you come from. Now, you come from Mozambique originally, if I'm
Mozambique.
pronouncing that right as well.
Yes.
And I'd like to hear a little bit about your upbringing, and I'd like to hear a little bit about where you first became interested in sports, whether that's basketball, whether
Uh-huh.
that's like trying some other sports. But yeah, let's just get a feel for like your childhood and your early life, please. Let's start there. Thank you.
All right. So I am from Mozambique. I grew up in the capital city of Mozambique, which is in Maputo. And my upbringing was, I don't know, like my childhood was very nice. I remember it being very nice. I'm the first child, right? So I'm very close with my parents, and I've always been close with family, my cousins, and all that. So my dad played basketball professionally in my country. So for the first years of my life, right, my dad was still playing basketball. So I kind of watched him play basketball. We used to go play basketball together. And I tried all different types of sports. I used to do basketball, soccer with friends. I used to run a lot, swimming, all types of things. So basically, yeah, my upbringing was full of sports, full of just childhood games and fun, all that. Yeah, I could say my childhood was very nice in Mozambique.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, a lot of
Mhm.
people won't be familiar with kind of the sports culture there in terms of like which sports
Uh-huh.
are popular and everything. Because you go to different countries, and some places it's like obviously Cyprus. Soccer, football is the most popular thing. Where I come from in
Uh-huh.
Wales, rugby. In different places it's different things. So, how popular is basketball in Mozambique? Is it like a big sport there, or is it kind of a little bit more niche and a little bit more special in that sense, if you get what I mean with this one?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Basketball is a very big sport in Mozambique. I'm just not quite sure between basketball and soccer. I don't know if you guys call it football, but yeah,
Football, we call it, but
yeah,
just in case there's any Americans, because some Americans, and then they've got American football, so I just say soccer just so it doesn't confuse
yeah,
people there. But yeah,
yeah,
football, basically from our point of view, yeah. Okay.
exactly. So basketball and football are very popular in my country. So I don't know which one is more popular, but those two are pretty big.
Okay. Okay, cool. Now,
Mhm.
with athletes, there's kind of a transition that often happens mentally and physically in the sense that it kind of goes from knowing you enjoy something and it's like fun to
Mhm.
realizing actually I can go really far with this and actually I'm good at this and I'm better than I thought I was kind of thing. And there's kind of that realization that happens of how far you can go. And I know at the moment
Mhm.
you're still figuring that out because it's a journey and I believe you're going to go a long way. But basically
Exactly.
the question is in the beginning when you realized you're good at this and you realized you wanted to focus on it, a little bit of wind there, hopefully that's okay. But yeah, when did that happen for you in terms of like that realization that you could go a long way basically? That's the question.
Mhm. That's a good question. First, I will start from there was this time when I was a kid. I think I was in the fifth grade or sixth grade. My parents told me that I was gonna go study in Botswana. Botswana is like close to Mozambique. I don't know if you know it, but like it's still part of Southern Africa. It's close to Mozambique. So I was going to study in Botswana because my
Okay.
parents they really invest in education for me and my siblings, right? So they wanted me to study in English. In Mozambique, I'm sure you know, like they teach in Portuguese in most schools,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's true.
So my parents were like, okay, you can go study in Botswana with their godparents. Their godparents, they had a house in Botswana because they were working there. So I went to study in Botswana, and Botswana was really nice. I used to do all types of sports. It was very inclusive. And the difference was that there was a lot of awards for sports. For example, there were always competitions, basketball, soccer, athletics. So there came a point in time I said I really enjoy playing basketball, although I was good in the other sports. There was a time I actually got Sportsman of the Year in Botswana. And that was really nice. I saw, okay, I think I'm really good at this because I was always achieving higher like than everybody else. So it came a point in time I was like, okay, I think I really like basketball and I might just enjoy this. I went to Botswana when I was 11 and I realized I wanted to play basketball seriously when I was like 13. That was like a year before I went back to Mozambique. So yeah, when I was
Okay.
about 12 or 13.
That's the story. Okay. I love that because it's something
Mhm.
that people don't see from like just from watching the games, I mean they see these big
Yeah,
guys out there doing your thing and all of that, but they don't always see like the mental side.
exactly.
That's the one thing. It's interesting for the fans, but it's also really interesting for like up and coming athletes as well. I mean, you're up and coming
Mhm.
yourself, but imagine if there's somebody
Mhm.
out there like your 12, 13, 14-year-old self and they're listening to you giving that message. It's a really, really powerful message. And that's one of the things I would like to mention to you as well is what your advice would be for young people? And it's a funny question in a way because obviously you're still a young guy, but you've already
Mhm.
achieved some good things. You're already achieving some dreams. So if there's somebody out there who's in that sort of particularly teenage kind of bracket, 14, 15, 16, whatever, and they want to achieve a bit more with their sports dreams, what would your advice be for them? I'd love to touch on that. I'm just moving around because of the wind noise, so excuse me if I'm moving back and
All
forth a
right,
little
no
bit.
worries.
But yeah, I mean, to get your advice for those people, I think would be really, really powerful. If you, it's a big
Hmm.
question, I know, but just a couple of things you regard
Hmm.
to be essential ingredients if they want to push themselves harder and go a bit further, basically.
All right. My advice would be the same that I tell myself, honestly, is dream big. You gotta dream big. You gotta put your head up there, dream above the stars, and work hard. Set goals for yourself, objectives and everything, and have faith. Above everything, I think faith is the most important. Faith in God, because you can't do it by yourself. You need God in your life, and you gotta have faith in everything that you do. Those are the
Absolutely.
three pieces of advice I have for all the young people out there.
Really good. Really, really good. Yeah, absolutely. I
Mhm.
mean, it's just you're already in that position to pass on a little bit of knowledge and everything. So, I love
Mhm.
that. I appreciate that. And that, that's why I do these. I do these to inspire people.
Mhm.
Obviously I do them to get the message out there, people like yourself, but at the same time I do them to
Mhm.
inspire people. So, excuse me. So yeah, anything that you can share like that is absolutely awesome. Now, obviously, we're both sat here in Cyprus, different parts of Cyprus on this beautiful island, and
Mhm.
there came a time in your life to take a kind of a courageous move here, and I'd like to go a little bit deeper into that topic, basically. In terms of like the move here, what inspired that, and obviously how you felt. Now, there's a few different aspects to this in Ghana because as I've moved here myself, leaving everything that's familiar. Obviously, you'd already gone from Mozambique to Botswana, so you'd already kind of taken a
Yeah.
leap. But even though the cultures in Africa are very diverse, there are some crossovers as well. As I have friends from all different parts of Africa, but coming to Cyprus is totally
Mhm.
different, like anything that you would have known. So can you walk us through what that process has been like, what your reasons were for doing that, and just anything you'd like to say about the whole moving countries aspect, basically? Thank you.
All right. You're right. Moving to Cyprus was very big for me. I remember when I went back to Mozambique, I went back from Botswana, right, in like 2018. And then I finished high school at that time and I went to college, still in Mozambique. So at that time, I was doing business school and I did want to go to the US. I wanted to get a scholarship and go play um, overseas or in the US. Overseas, I mean Europe, right? Um, but then it wasn't possible because of COVID,
Right.
because COVID made a lot of things really hard. So I did college in Mozambique for like 3 years. And then there was one day a friend of mine texted me. He studied here in Cyprus. He's already finished college. He studied here in Cyprus at the time. That was a year and a half ago. He texted me. He said, I know you play basketball, and my school, like, they have a really good basketball program. He was talking about Bashishe Cyprus University. So he said that, and I was like, okay. And he said, maybe you can try out for a scholarship or something like that. I was like, okay, I'll see what happens. And then I got into contact with the school. I had all my basketball videos and everything. Once they accepted me, it really hit me. I was like, oh, wow, I really got a scholarship to go to Cyprus. Like, I'm gonna get to play overseas. But at that time, I was already on my third year of college. So I was like, am I just gonna give everything up and like restart from zero? But I mean, it's always been my dream to go overseas and like try new opportunities. I know that from Cyprus, I could have a better angle of going where I want to go, right? So I decided to take the opportunity and come to Cyprus. And thankfully, I didn't have to restart university. I just transferred all my transcripts from Mozambique to here, and now I'm just continuing university. I'm about to finish in a while. So yeah, it was a big change because, and it was different from Botswana because here there's no family technically. So yeah.
Okay, now to touch on that, Dingane, something that I think will be really interesting is what was like the biggest culture shock for you coming from there? I mean, this is just a fun question, you know. I mean, there's nothing to worry about, but people will
Uh,
be interested as to like what it is for you. Because like when I moved here, you know, we've been here a similar amount of time. There was like a few things I kind of expected. I'm like, okay, cool. And then there was a few things that took me by surprise. I'm like, wow, really? Okay. So even little things like, you know, today I'm drinking a cold coffee, you know, where I come from, you only get hot coffee, you know, and I got to get used to like cold coffees. I mean, it's silly, you know, but it's like it's still part of the process. But there
yeah.
was also some bigger things than that. Do you know what I mean? So it's like this outdoor
No,
life.
that's
You
right.
know, I'm supposed to be working on a laptop today. I've got actually a car battery that I use for the laptop, and it died, so I'm doing this up here. And oh, you know, but in the UK you don't have any of
Mhm.
this outdoor stuff because it's so cold. You know, so I'm curious, like for you with Mozambique, what kind of like the biggest thing when you got here, you were like, wow, okay, they do things like that. And it's just like I say, it's just a fun question for you, really.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that is a good question. The biggest culture shock here for me, I'm not really sure, but like I can see that they do smoke a lot of cigarettes, which is a culture shock for me. In
Yeah.
Mozambique, that did not happen often. Here, even the young people, like they already smoke cigarettes. I mean, which is it's not bad if you ask me, but in Mozambique, like it's not the same at all. So that's the biggest one I have right now. Other things are just normal for me. Like I know there's different cultures, you know, so I can live with that. But that was the biggest culture shock that I've had here so far.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I'm with you on that one because like where I come from, it's the same. It's really strict. You know, like you can't smoke in a lot of
Hmm.
places. You have to go outside. Like you can't smoke in restaurants or
Hmm.
shops or anything. And you know, but here it's just like everywhere. So yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, it's not good or
Hmm.
bad. I mean, if you're an athlete, probably don't do that. But like for other people, it's not really good or bad.
Hmm.
But yeah, it surprised me as well. It shocked me. So, talking about basketball itself, my friend, I mean, I'd like to touch on like
Hmm.
some of your favorite moments as a basketball player so far, in the sense that, like, obviously, you're still aiming big, and we're going to talk about the future a lot as well, so don't worry. But in terms of like what you've already done and like some of the games and tournaments that you've been in and everything, I'd like to just talk about like some of your favorite basketball memories. You know, again, it's sort of a big question, but like when you look back and you think,
Hmm.
okay, that was a game where like I did really well, or you know, that was a game where it was really tough to like overcome those challenges, but you overcame them and you did well. Any of that kind of thing. I mean, it comes in different forms for different people, so there's not really a right or wrong answer. But just like, what are some of your fondest memories so far as a basketball player, basically?
All right, that's a good question too. Most of my basketball memories, the best ones that I have, right? They aren't really in the court. I would say they're more outside. For example, there was this time I was in Mozambique, right? This was after Botswana. It was probably 2019 or something. We had a tournament. We had a tournament in South Africa. So it was like a tournament between some Southern African schools. Like there was Mozambique, South Africa, Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, all just competing then. So I remember I showed out, I showed my skills, and I stood out like in front of all those coaches there. You can imagine there was a lot of schools, a lot of coaches over there watching. So I got to showcase my skills. And after that, I remember I got an offer to go to a camp later that same year, and it was NBA Academy camp. But if I don't make a mistake, and yeah, it was just an amazing moment, and I could see like the fruits of my labor basically. And after that, I think I went back home to Mozambique and I told my parents about the offer. And I could see that they also started to believe more in me. Like they always believed in me, right? But then I remember, I think they started to like see that I'm taking basketball seriously as well at that time. Because for most kids who do sports or anything outside of the normal, I would say, white collar jobs, right, is that don't really agree with it and they don't think he or she is serious, that I'm serious about it, and they always believed in me. So I thank God for that. It was the best thing that ever happened, I believe, so far in my basketball career. And just these big moments, like having good games, that one moment in South Africa, some moments here in Mozambique. I mean, over there in Mozambique, and some moments here in Cyprus. So all those are just big moments for me in basketball. But the main ones are actually outside because of like my relationships, you know.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I love asking that question because out of all the questions I ask people, and they do vary a little, but I always try to get that one
Mhm,
in there because you never know what's going to come back. Like it could be totally different from one person to another. It's like, I speak to people like even in the Olympics and all types of things, and they for one person
mhm,
like in the Olympics is like the biggest thing, and for like another person they don't even mention it. Like they talk about something like from when they were a kid or something, and that's the proudest moment. Even when they've won
mhm,
medals, it's like that's not the proudest moment. It's like something from years ago. So I love asking that question. Okay, now obviously in terms of like the biggest challenges you faced as a basketball player and as a person, and how you overcame those challenges, because this is very much a mental question. This is very much from the point of view again of the other young
mhm,
people out there, and obviously things are not always going to go according to plan. There's going to be like some knockbacks and
mhm,
some hard moments and all the rest of it. So I'm curious as to that side of the process, like how you overcome difficult challenges and what lessons you've learned from some times, basically when things have gone wrong or things really
mhm.
haven't gone to plan. Because I think there's going to be a valuable life lesson in this one somewhere.
Yeah. All right. There is a lot of challenges, really, like a lot. And you have to stay mentally strong. I'll say a little bit about some of my challenges that I've had. And I would say the first big one that I had was when I had an injury. I had a really bad injury. This was a bit after the tournament I told you in South Africa. It was a bit after I got injured and I tore a ligament on my knee. So I had that injury bothering me for 3 years. I didn't know what it was or anything because like the doctors just couldn't seem to find what the problem was. But then thankfully to God, 3 years later, I found a doctor in South Africa. His name is Dr. Chris, by the way, just shouting out his name. Um, and he helped me go to South Africa to get my knee checked, and I had the surgery. Dr. Chris and Dr. Keegan. So I really did my surgery. I got better, and a year after that, I played. I'd been playing really well in Mozambique, right in the league in Mozambique, and I got the offer to come to Cyprus like a year after the surgery, which was amazing for me. I was like, thank you, God, so much. And the challenge made me get better. It made me stronger, it made me have more faith in God and all things like that. And the second biggest challenge was similar to the first one, which was when I came here to Cyprus. So what you don't know right now is that the first 5 months I came to Cyprus, I came here to play, and then the first season, I got injured here in Cyprus. So I was like, wow, I just got here, I got injured. What am I gonna do? Thank God again that the school paid for my surgery and everything again. It was on my knee. It was just actually a different knee. So yeah, I was really down at that time, but thankfully for the support of my family and my girlfriend is also here in Cyprus. She lives here in Nova Scotia as well. She was supporting me throughout all that time. My family members, they always called me every single day, like to check up on me. And that was really important. Like the support from the family and your friends is the most important part during your challenges, you know. And eventually I got through it and I came back to the basketball court, I think a few months ago. And in such a short time, I was able to play better again. Like I came out stronger than ever again. And by the grace of God, I actually got a team calling me, a professional team here in Cyprus. I don't know if you know about Base Kyrenia here in
Yeah,
Cyprus. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So they did reach out to me and I got a contract to play for them, which was a blessing, really. Like it happened in such a short time after I had been injured, you know. And that just goes to show how God works. Like if you have faith and you stay persistent and you get stronger every single time, you get back up if you fall down.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you fall down, he will.
Hmm.
Sorry, but yeah, I just got to say, he will help to pick you up, man. 100%. I'm with you on that. And
Hmm.
faith is a big aspect. So I don't forget, Dingane, my friend, with this one is an important question because you've mentioned about like the mental aspect several times, and it's something I love to touch on, because obviously you've got to have all the physical skills and all the training, and you've got to train really hard and everything. But when you get out there to compete, you've got to have a strong mind as well. And I'm curious about how you handle like the pressure or nerves or just staying positive before games and all of this kind of stuff because there's a whole process that people go through. And through my work like with
Hmm.
journalism and more in the physical aspect, I've been in a lot of like changing rooms and everything before competitions with different things, and you see guys handling the mental aspect all different ways. And even though it's a team sport, like you've still got to do that within yourself and find the strength. I'd imagine the faith is part of
Exactly.
it, big part of it that, God is going to look after you during the game and everything like that. But in terms of like getting yourself ready mentally, I'm just curious if you like visualize the game or like how what sort of methods you use to have that strong will to succeed, basically, if that makes sense.
Hmm. That makes sense. All right. So the mental part is actually more important than the physical part, in my opinion. I believe, at least for the game of basketball, it is at least 70% mental. So the way I go about it is I put God first, as always. I pray every single time, a day before my games. I mean, I pray every single day, but specifically for the game, I start to get ready 2 days or a day ahead, right? I start to pray to God about the game and stretching, getting mentally focused and ready for that specific game that I have, right? And you have to visualize, like you said, you have to visualize yourself doing everything that you want to do. Like you have to visualize getting the outcomes that you want in that specific game or in that specific tournament. Yeah, basically that's what it is for me for the mental aspect. I just try to stay aggressive always and always believe in yourself. Like bet on yourself. If you have the ball, you have to like bet on yourself, forget about the outcomes and believe in the work that you've already put in. Yeah, that's all about what I have to say for the mental aspect of the game.
I love it. Some rock solid, powerful advice there. I love it. Like I said before, it's advice not just for athletes with that one, but just for life in general. Anything that somebody's doing, whether it's starting a business, whether it's like doing your exams or your education or something, you've got to have that strong mind and that faith. So it's really, really good. I mean, even in different
Exactly.
ventures, like where I am today, this business that I'm in, the guy who owns it used to be like a really famous football player
Hmm.
and everything, soccer player, and he had some knee injuries and everything. Funnily enough, had to come out of that, and he's opened like different restaurants and clubs and stuff down here in Famagusta. But even when you watch somebody like that take the the lessons learned from sports and then apply it to like other areas of life. And
Yeah,
anyone
to
doing
life.
this,
Yeah.
they can do that. And you're sharing life lessons, not just sports lessons. So I love that. Okay, so obviously in terms of like the future plans, and we're on the sort of last two, three topics, something like that at this point, but we're doing really well. In terms of like your future plans, you mentioned about the whole, going to America and making it over there and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You've been in Cyprus like, year and a half, enjoying the island life, same as me, chasing your dreams. But do you still want to go there, or like basically, like I said at the beginning, it's not just about America. This question is basically really simple. I said at the beginning, the best is yet to come. And really, I would like to talk about your future, whether it's like a year from now, 2 years, 3 years, I mean, however far you plan ahead, I would just love to hear about your dreams and your goals. Because, like I said at the beginning, I'm catching you quite early in the journey, but I believe the best is yet to come. There's a lot that's going to happen, obviously, in the future from now. So, yeah, share with us a little bit, please, my friend, about like your ambitions from this point forward, however far ahead in time you want to go. I really don't mind.
For sure. In my perspective, I don't know how it's gonna go, but in 2 years' time or a year time, I would love to be playing professionally. I'm already playing professionally here in Cyprus, right? But I would love to play professionally in another country in Europe. For example, the countries that I have in mind are Spain, Italy, Portugal, maybe Australia, right? Those countries I would love to play in like professionally. They have some really good leagues that I could build my professional resume and maybe even finish my career over there and live over there. Who knows? About going to America, I'm not sure because America has a very different system of basketball. I would love to go there for college, but since I'm already almost finishing college, I am not sure if that actually fits in with my plans. But if God is willing, then so be it. So that's the main thing, just trusting in God's path and of course trying to do what I desire, but following God's plan still. That's the most important part for me.
Absolutely. I love it. Absolutely love the ambitions and the faith. And yeah, I'm excited to see how far you're gonna go. And I'd love to catch up with you again in the future and see how you're doing with
Mhm.
everything down the line. So the last couple of things, obviously, in terms of people who've helped you, we've spoken a little bit about
Mhm.
obviously God and how much He helps us all as long as we listen and we keep our hearts open to it. You mentioned about your family members as well and like their support even when you were injured and all of that kind of
Yeah.
thing. But are there other people who've helped you who you'd like to mention, or even if it's going deeper into the family aspect, but anything like that, that people who are like behind the scenes basically that you would like to give a
Mhm.
shout out to? I heard Dr. Chris earlier. I heard a few people throughout this talk, but
Yeah.
yeah, and anybody like that at all in any way, shape, or form where they've helped you. Who would you like to mention in that aspect, please?
The people that I would like to thank, they are a long list, but I would like to specifically mention first my parents. My parents have been a big part of my journey, and I could have never made it to where I am right now without them, or get to where I'm going without them. And when I say my parents, I mean my parents, my family, like my even my siblings. Like they always make it easier for me in my life. They always bring joy, and it's really important when you're playing basketball. It's not just about basketball or anything in life that you're doing, because you need your family members to support you, right? And
Absolutely.
I would also like to thank my grandparents. There was a time that I was always with my grandparents. I actually used to live with them for some time because it was closer to the courts and closer to my university in Mozambique. So I lived with them for a while, and they've always made it easy for me as well. They always took well care of me, and yeah, I believe they did a lot for me as well. My parents is godparents, the ones in Botswana. I think I already mentioned them. They also helped me a lot while I was in Botswana. They were like second parents to me because I was really far from home, and they took care of me. They made sure I was good every single time. And basically, that environment made me who I am today. Also, I would like to thank my girlfriend. My girlfriend, she's always been supportive with me. Like she's always supporting me, always telling me to stay aggressive. Yeah, she's a really good person, and she's always helping me like with everything that I need. So yeah, and also Dr. Keegan, Dr. Chris, all those people. And I would also like to mention all the coaches, all the coaches that I've ever played for, my teammates and friends, like all those people, they helped me a lot. And I could have never made it without them to where I am or to where I'm gonna go.
Love it.
It's a
Absolutely.
yeah, it's a long list, but for now I'll just leave it there.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
know there's so many people, and I don't
Yeah.
for you to leave anyone out, but it's an overview that there's so many people
Uh-huh.
helping athletes and helping people behind the scenes, and they don't always get
Uh-huh.
the credit they deserve. So I hope we've mentioned a few
Uh-huh.
there. And my last question for you
Uh-huh.
for now, for today, is obviously the social media aspect is just where people can connect with you
Uh-huh.
and follow you and basically join the journey, obviously for now, but also for what's ahead and what's to come. What's the best way that people can reach out to you if they're interested to connect with you, my friend?
The best way to reach out to me, I believe, would be Instagram. Yeah, Instagram. My Instagram is Dingane, like my name. I believe there isn't many people with my name out there, except maybe in South Africa. But Instagram or LinkedIn, like the same way you found me. So yeah, those are the two best ways to reach me.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Well, listen, it's been an amazing talk today. Okay. Like I said, first of all, actually, before I get into any of that, first of all, you've done a great job. I've got no idea how many of these you've done, but today you've done a great job of talking about your life, talking from the heart, sharing some great life lessons, some great stories, some motivation, some inspiration. So I want to say a big thank you for that. Big thank you for speaking from your heart and a big well done to you to give yourself a pat on the back, as they say, with a job well done. And yeah, I mean, I'd love to connect with you again in the future, further down the road. See how your journey is developing, see how things are going, and just keep in touch like that. With this today, obviously, I'll release this next week. Now it's probably going to be give it a push around everywhere and
Mhm.
get as many people watching as I
Mhm.
possibly can. I'm going to send it to you as well so that you can also share it. And yeah, maybe if you can like send it
All right.
to the team that you play for or any of that type of stuff, anything you can do on your side. But I'll take care of most of it on my side. And we'll just get it out there to as many people as we can. Give your name a push, and get the inspiration out there about dreaming big. Having faith, chasing your goals, courage, all of the things that you said today. But yeah, honestly, I knew it would be a good interview, but it's exceeded my expectations that I had. It's been even better again than what I thought. So hand on heart, I mean it, because you've spoken from the heart. So I want to say a big thank you for that. I will be in touch very soon. I'm going to have to run shortly because everything's run late today. I had one earlier run late, and then it's knocked on and knocked on like dominoes to every single meeting I have.
All right.
So I'm going to have to run. But yeah, you've done a great job, and I will speak with you very soon, and we'll go from there. But yeah, God bless, and big love and respect to you, to all of your loved ones, and
Thank
thank
you,
you for a
Liam.
great talk. Thank you. You've done amazing.
Thank you, Liam. Thank you for having. Thank you. Thank you, Liam, for
My
having me
pleasure.
here. Yeah, this was my first one actually.
Really? Okay. Well,
Yeah, the first one.
there will be many more because
Many
you've
more.
done a great job of this one, but there will be many more. So
Amen.
yeah,
Amen.
amen to
All
that.
right.
So okay, well, God bless you, my friend, and your family, and 100% we'll speak again soon for sure. And hey, we're both on the same island, so I hope we meet in person at some point and everything like that. That would also be
Yeah.
awesome. I'd come to one of your games or anything you've got going on. We'll keep in touch about all of that. But for now, yeah,
All
great
right.
job well done, and you enjoy the rest of your day. We'll speak soon for sure.
All
Thank you
right,
for
Liam. All right,
okay.
Liam. Thank you. Thank you so much. Goodbye. See you
God
later.
bless. See you soon. See you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel, and there'll be more videos coming soon.